So with this one, with Tracy Ellis Ross, it was one I didn't watch the whole thing, right? But I found it extremely funny because she's on Michelle Obama's podcast. And on Michelle, like her numbers is, kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie, like she definitely is getting numbers up here, right? This particular video is almost at 500,000 views, but um, the conversation that they were having, I'm trying to find it. Trying to speed past a lot of this because I honestly believe a lot of the conversations that they have. I'm not even gonna necessarily say people shouldn't have conversations because that would be wrong. That's like a censorship type ordeal. But sometimes, like you can't listen to certain people depending on what the results that you want. And I say this because Tracy Ellis Ross is not really a woman to really like listen to. You feel what I'm saying? And this is Diana Ross's daughter. Now, the only thing Tracy really got going for her, she got a thumper. That's really it. Like, but it's like the way she tries to align herself and her values or whatever. It's really mind blowing because I remember this woman said that she will take herself out on a date by herself and she truly enjoyed it and all of this bullshit. But then now it's all switched to where she's dating younger men because they're just so, what was the word she said? I don't even remember the word she said, but it just don't make sense what these women be talking
Your
about.
heart
More
literally
open than
stays
it
open.
should.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, that was
Okay.
hard.
All right.
More open
correction.
than it should be. But I do date, and it's a fascinating adventure out there. Mostly though, I think there's really good men out there. I think to a certain extent, I'm a very unique sort of unicorn of a woman,
Yes, you
and
are.
so
No, she ain't.
it's gonna take a unique person.
Mhm.
And in the meantime, I have really learned how to live my life and
Yeah.
enjoy it and not sit around waiting. I was saying to someone recently that
Facts.
I'm one of the first generations of choice, and it's
Mhm.
not anymore,
Yeah.
which really, there was a window and that has shifted. And I do think that that's going to change dating for women so much.
When you mean you've been the sort of the product of choice.
Yeah,
you
like
mean
the assumption of Roe v. Wade and the ability for a woman to find her own delight.
And let's be real clear. The whole Roe v. Wade, when they bring up that conversation, if you do your research, that whole Roe v. Wade was all a lie and a setup. So I don't even understand why like they bring, it's like, why do they fight for abortion rights so fucking much? Like me personally, I'm pro-choice. Like if that's what you want to do, you, hey, do you? Like if you want to be a fucked up person, I ain't gonna necessarily say fuck this. Everybody got their certain situations, but if you just fighting for it just so you can be like, oh, I'm just gonna go get pregnant just to get an abortion, and you do it again, do it again, do it again, you a fucked up person. Because like, why do you keep doing that? Just protect yourself and stop doing that, bro. But like I said, I'm pro-choice, so whatever to that. But why fight for that so hard? Like as if somebody is trying to significantly oppress you, and they use the worst examples in order to fight this argument.
Light and pleasure and choice around how she navigates dating or how one would navigate dating. And we're in a different world now.
Right,
and I'm
about that.
curious what that will look like. It frightens me for younger girls because of many reasons, obviously. But even with the systemic protection of Roe v. Wade, I still was coming up against the cultural norms of being a choiceful woman and owning my own body and my own choices and what it is that I'm looking for in a relationship and the ability to negotiate in a relationship what it is you want the relationship to be between the two of you, as opposed to what society says it should be.
Well,
that's different.
I don't know that we're gonna lose that. I think we're used to having a say in our lives.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether this the whole movement is about sort of reharnessing us, you know,
Sure.
whether it is it really about,
And can that really
reproductive
work?
rights? Can that really work now that women are educated and we're being raised differently? I mean, the truth is that fathers are modernized,
Yes.
right? I mean,
Mostly.
mostly they are, you know, and if you were to ask the average man, how are you raising your daughter? Because you love her. The average father that loves their daughter wants them to be excellent, you know, and they want them to have opportunity and freedom. I mean, when you think about you don't want your daughter saddled marrying some guy that chose her because he just didn't think about anything else and was
who believes
ready
that
at
her
the time.
body is his choice.
Exactly. So I don't.
Man, listen. It is so irritating listening to these older women who are out of fucking pocket talk when they talk about relationships, when they talk about men and women, the dynamics of dating. It is so fucking irritating. Like, it's exhausting. That's how irritating it is, dude. Because it's so hard to listen to it because I, it makes no sense to me. Okay. And you got to understand, people, like, in life, we got duties, bro. Like, all that my body, my choice. Like, my thing is this. Anybody answer this question? Who the fuck is taking your choice away? Now, guys, listen. I'm trying my best to stop cussing. You know, my kids told me I cuss a lot. They almost slipped up and cussed the other day. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a significant effort to stop. And I've been doing really good. But sometimes when I get so frustrated with stupid shit that some people say, it's like, nah, fuck all that. Let it out the bag, because we got to express ourselves. We all grown here, right? How is it that a woman that's single as fuck, now mind you, some women who are well off financially, if you don't want to be a wife, or because you know being husband and wife is not the end game for everybody. Cool, I got it. Because that is not the end all be all, because now the whole thing about marriage, from what I understand from, way back in the day, yes, it was for family, but in all, it was because people wanted to fuck. And you weren't getting no box unless you married them. I ain't mad again. I ain't mad at it. But what I'm sick of is this whole narrative that women were just so oppressed, so miserable because they couldn't go to work and they couldn't do, and they just had to rely on a man as if it was just this worst fucking thing in the world. And it's always the super negative people that's coming out talking. And it's showcasing to us, the younger generations, that marriage is just this old fucked up thing. Then she said, Michelle said, what she say? She said, the average father loves his daughter. How are you raising your daughter? The way that people raising their daughters nowadays, like, let's keep it 100. They raising them to be hoes. They raising them to be potential baby mamas. That's what they're doing. Because to have the narrative of you don't need no man. Now, I'm not speaking from a position of as if that should be your sole purpose to get a man. No. Listen, if you want to go out there and you want to go be a doctor or, a neurosurgeon or some shit, and that was your path that was set before you as a woman, you said, that's what I want above all else, go do it. Just understand, there's a very good chance that there's not a man that will be in close proximity that will actually want to partake in life with you. Just understand that's a great possibility. But to say, like, you don't need, nah, you do need a man at some point in your goddamn life. Think about it like this. If somebody's breaking into your home, when you call the police, who do you want to show up? You want a bunch of women, or do you want a man? If you already had a man that lived at your house, what would you want him to do? Would you want him to be a feminine man or a masculine man that will go handle the situation? Yes, it's scary, but you'll still want somebody there to be there. when you bringing groceries in the house that are extremely heavy, who do you want to typically do it? You want a man, right? I don't understand why they always try to paint this narrative as if men are just these so toxic and it's like, no, bro. Just because we got we do have standards. The dudes that you want, we got fucking standards, bro. And I am so sick of seeing these older fucking women, especially black women. That's what makes it so bad. Older black women always saying this stuff, dog. It's like, y'all got to shut the fuck up. Like, for you to be married and you sitting here talking this dumbass shit, that clearly is an indication about Obama. Like, Michelle, I really do not rock with Michelle, bro. Because that, like, when that campaign, that shit she was on, she was telling women to go against their husbands just to fucking vote and shit. And then now she out here being disrespectful to Obama and all that stuff. I don't rock with it at all. Then you got Tracy Ellis on here who's basically saying your body, your choice. And then she gonna say some stupid shit about gender fluidity and all. That's basically saying you want dudes to be fucking confused as hell, possibly getting something stuck up their goddamn back, and then just for them to be all okay with it, and for you to be a goddamn man, and he just bow down to you. Like, no. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not against young dudes smashing older women. I'm not against it. You want to know why? Especially if the older chicks got money. I'm not against it at all. Because guess what? Especially if they went through menopause already, that is a free. I'm gonna try to say this in the most elegant way. Nope, I couldn't figure out no elegant way. That's a free cum bucket. You ain't got nothing to worry about. I'm sorry, I really tried to think of an elegant way to say it, but I couldn't. That's a free cum bucket. You can, not only is she gonna teach you a lot of stuff, you feel what I'm saying? She gonna blow some money on you. Listen, you go ahead, boo-boo, and go be Miss Masculine and bring home the money and all like that. I ain't trying to build no life with you. I'm not trying to live in your house. I'm just trying to come over, clap cheeks, kick it with you for a little bit, and going up on my day. Because when I do actually find a woman that I actually want to be with, that's the person that I'm gonna pour into, and we are gonna build. Not build with some old ass fucking woman I can't even have kids with. Make this shit make sense.
Think a lot of leaders are thinking about that. You know?
Well, and they haven't been asked to, because I think it's not always a context that if it's an area that you don't have to think into,
right?
But I think there is it is a genuine regular thought process for me. It's one of the reasons, I mean, we've talked about this, that often I date younger men. And a lot of it is because...
Let's stop on that, folks.
Oh my God, we had a great dinner.
On that one.
Why the fuck is that several snaps? This is the shit I be talking about. And then so many black women that's gonna be watching this. And they're like, yeah, girl, go get you a young one and all. I don't think me as men, like real talk, any man that sees this, do you really give a fuck if women in your age group date younger men? Like, do you really care? Because they care so much about the dudes in their age group doing it. But who gives a fuck? Let me know what y'all think.
We had a great dinner, by the way, where across the table, your husband goes, but why? And I said, well, maybe because I can.
Yes. This is what I'm saying. Tales from Tracy's.
It's fun. It's very fun to share.
Tracy tales.
But
you date a younger woman.
But one of the reasons, though, that, because I had to ask myself that question, I was like, what is this about?
Yeah.
Because I want a partner. And so often, and it's not just that I'm older, I'm also very embodied. I am a full, very whole person who knows myself, who is in charge of my life, and who lives a very full, just robust life. So it's not just age, it's like life experience and sort of a difference. But I had to ask myself the question, why? Why does this keep sort of coming up other than they're hot and gorgeous?
There's that.
But a lot of men my age are steeped in a...
Michelle Obama is mad disrespectful, bro. That's all I can say. She's mad disrespectful. And I don't even know whether to feel bad for Obama or not. I don't even know.
Toxic masculinity, and have been raised in a culture where...
Here we go with this dumbass word. I'm about to go back 10 seconds. I want to hear this bullshit.
hot and gorgeous.
There's that.
There's that. But a lot of men my age are steeped in a toxic masculinity and have been raised in a culture where there is a particular way that a relationship looks. And anything that starts to smell of that for me, I did enough of it where I was controlled and felt like I was a possession or whatever those things were, or prize and I have no interest in it, and I will not do it again.
I'm sorry.
So her being a prize, that's make it make sense. So you were mad because the man was happy that he had you? Like, that's where I'm confused at. Like, cause if you got a prize or something, it's kind of like, you kind of cherish it a little bit, right? Like, it's not saying like you are like how.
Sorry,
No,
Craig.
I was gonna say, so it's a generational thing. So it didn't matter how you met them, or is it just kind of the guys you're meeting?
That's obviously
too big of a
it's
generalization.
a generalization,
Yeah.
but because I have dated men my age, there
Yeah.
is a difference. There is an openness that occurs with a younger man around whether it's gender fluidity or not even having an issue with homosexuality. I mean, something as basic as that.
Right.
That there's
No, I
times
hear you.
where I'll be sitting across the table from somebody and just like, what did you just say?
Yeah, what century are you?
Like, oh my God.
Where's your horse and buggy?
Yeah.
Oh, this shit is sickening, bro. And that's the fucking problem, especially when you got single women raising boys. You got them believing stupid shit like this. Toxic masculinity. Why? Because they choose to be fucking men instead of being some little pussies. Because you can't run over them. Because what? Because they have morals about themselves. Because they don't want to be around men who like men. Is something wrong with that? Fuck out of here, dog. And then other people want to actually listen to this shit. I'm gonna tell you like this. Because this is one of the reasons why I say like you got to go out, you got to turn TV off and go outside. Because when you actually go outside and you talk to people, a lot of people don't believe the same dumbass shit. It's like a lot of people on the internet that really believe this shit. This makes no sense. And then you got a married woman that's literally co-signing all of this stuff, which is so disrespectful. And then she want to snap fingers and man, fuck out of here, dog. Oh, they are on the podcast cheering each other on about being crappy mates and horrible women. Exactly. That's exactly what they're doing. Man, you hit it right on the fucking head. I'm a pro-choice, but didn't they think that when a man chooses to have unprotected sex, then he chooses to have a baby? Why do they not hold women to that same standard? I don't know. You want to know something? You want to know something like real talk? So I really like I said, I think a lot, right? I think about these certain subjects, especially when I'm listening to different things. I think about, different reasons on why things are the way that they are. And I honestly believe, like, cause seeing how everything transitioned, like, and then like, you hear, I listen to a lot of podcasts, I learn about a lot of different shit, history, stuff like that. If you look at like in the black community during like the 1965s, 1960s, 70s, we had a very high marriage rate. Now, as time progressed, all the different things that popped off, drugs, all this crazy shit, TV, all this propaganda, stuff like that. Now we're in an era where all of our women extremely masculine in general, not all of them, but in general, extremely masculine. Typically, there are way more baby mamas than there are baby daddies. We already know that it's only about 20% of the male population, especially black, specifically black men. There's only 20% of them that's fathering 80% of the children. So that means there is significant more baby mamas than there are baby daddies, right? We know that the studies, the data, the statistics, they show that children that are raised in a single woman household typically have a greater chance of being on antidepressants, or pills or whatever, higher chance of being, into promiscuous type things, higher chance of going to prison, stuff like that. Now, here's what we do know. Women spend way more money. They're way more emotionally unstable. We know that, women like to travel, trips, all the fanciest shit, even though they can't fucking afford it, all these different things. We know this, right? So I honestly believe that it is a benefit to, I'm not gonna necessarily just say society, but I'm gonna say like, I know businesses in general will benefit from it, because if you got women who spends, I think they spend like, they're like 80% of the consumers in this country. Like 80%, they spend the most money. Makeup, clothes, all this shit. If they're leading everything and they're always causing issues because they don't have the stability, the structure, wouldn't it be in the benefit of, I'm gonna say the powers that be, to keep the two separated to where they can keep on having fucked up situations come out of this, out of it? And then on top of that, the men, let's say they get with a productive man and they have a baby, they're incentivized to leave the situation, and then therefore they can get the child support, and like they can extract resources from that man while still going to do all the bad behavior and shit that they do. So I honestly believe there's like a legit initiative, because it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for women to say dumb shit about the like think about all the dudes now. There's so many dudes that are either on a DL or into other dudes, and it's like, that doesn't make sense. I'm not saying nothing about the alphabet community whatsoever. It's like, y'all do y'all, y'all got y'all lane, stay in y'all lane. I ain't trying to jump in y'all lane. Y'all do y'all. But at the end of the day, it's irritating to see so many dudes just popping up. Oh, they into dudes now. And then women always saying stupid shit about, like how she just said, where the homo stuff or toxic masculinity. The men are toxic because they believe in being a man and stuff like that. I honestly believe it's initiative behind it. Because other than that, what benefit are we talking about? Like, I don't see productivity coming from that whatsoever. All I see is a whole bunch of people talking, like these women talking shit, not getting the real results in life. Yeah, you can say you are happy and all that, but then you don't got no kids, no family, no nothing. Like, it's just some of them just get lucky. Swear to God, they just get lucky, bro. I do not understand. As if like their life is a representation of something that was great, as if they're advocating, yes, you go out here and do this, you go be this girl boss, and you not gonna get the results that you really want. And then it is so irritating when they say, uh when they be like, that how men should support them and everything that they do and stuff like that. It's like, bro, a man is not supposed to fucking chase you. Theoretically, I mean, yeah, like if he wants you to be his woman, yeah, court you and all, but he's not supposed to chase you. He's not supposed to put you on no fucking pedestal. None of that. You are his helpmate, not the other way around. Like, come on. A lot of this shit they be talking about is just so asinine, bro. But like I say, at the end of the day, if that's what they want, I'm not against it. I look at it as, at the end of the day, time is always going to tell who is right and who is wrong. If you spent your whole life, you couldn't obtain a relationship that you actually needed to where it poured into you and vice versa, and you actually made it to the end of your days with that one person, if you want different people in and out of you, and that's something that you enjoy, hey, at the end of the day, that's what you fought for. Equal opportunities, liberation. You can go have all the fun and the sex that you want. Just understand, you ain't gonna get the results that you typically gonna want, because I don't care what the hell she talking about. You're not telling me you want to date no young motherfucker when you 70, 80 years old, and you know what I'm saying, and you barely can fucking move. Man, them young niggas don't want that. They want their own family. And then when you too damn old, nobody's going to be there to do nothing for you. Let's just keep it a buck. All right. Yeah, I know that was a little bit of a rant. It's all good though. But we are moving along because we don't got time for that bullshit no more. Let's read this comment real quick. Say they are snapping their fingers and rolling their necks talking about toxic masculinity, not understanding that they are spewing toxic femininity. You know what? See, I was thinking that too, right? But I didn't even call it toxic femininity because they're not feminine to me. I call that toxic feminism. Extremely fucking toxic feminism. Like, the shit y'all talk about just it's retarded. But I'm one of those people where I'm like, you know what? If that's what you want to do, so be it. Literally, do your thug thing. But my thing is sometimes you just got to shut the fuck up because you're not giving good information to the women that's coming after you. Because here's one thing I do know. Here's one thing I do know for a freaking fact. That's perfectly fine with the whole girl bosses and all like that. Because all you got to do is simply pay attention to the shit that goes on. The girl bosses, they transition over into what? The soft girl era. Remember, it was hot girl summer and all that shit and all these masculine women everywhere. And then all of a sudden, oh, I don't want to work hard no more. I don't want to do all this. Pay me, please. Give me a man that's gonna do this and do. I'm sorry, but like I'm not gonna say the simps, but I'm not even gonna say average. I can't even call them low. The dudes that don't know how to really acquire women with ease. That's how I'm gonna classify them. Maybe they'll go for it, but the ones who get them on a regular and they have that status that the women typically want, they have the finances that they want, they have the stature and they want that they want all that. Those men will not choose you because you don't get to turn your shit off and on to where it's like, oh, I can just go grab me a man. I can just like women be like, oh, I can go get married if I wanted to. And I'm like, no, the fuck you can't. Shut up. Like hearing women talk about that stupid ass shit sometimes is just ridiculous. And understand this. I'm not going as if I'm just going directly at women. No. Because I go at dudes 10 times harder because dudes that are fucking bums, like we don't even need to have a conversation about them. There's no point because here we only want to have conversations about productive men. So that's why when we talk about these women, it's kind of like you talking directly to the productive men that you want or you looking for. But how do you think you're gonna fucking get them when you not what you're not what they would actually want and need, and you don't deserve them at the end of the day, even though they think they deserve every fucking thing under the sun. It's ridiculous, bro.